Imagine this, it's 1803 and the United States is still a young country. Leaders make a huge buy that seems way too risky and super expensive. Many people think it will make the nation go broke. With just one signature and $15 million, they take a big chance. This deal doubles the size of America in one night. Was it a smart move or crazy with money? This one deal didn't just change maps. It changed who had power in the world forever. Let's go back to the early days of America. The country was new and weak. It had just won its freedom from Britain in the Revolutionary War, but now it faced big problems. America was deep in debt from that war. The economy was shaky, like a house built on sand. People were trying to build farms, towns, and businesses, but money was tight. At that time, France owned a huge area called the Louisiana Territory. This land stretched from the Mississippi River all the way to the Rocky Mountains. It covered parts of what are now 15 states, like Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri, and more. It was giant, bigger than the whole United States back then. France was led by a powerful man named Napoleon Bonaparte. He was a general who became emperor. Napoleon had big plans for Louisiana. He wanted to use it to grow food and build a strong empire in North America. If France kept this land, it could block America from growing west. Americans would be stuck on the east side of the Mississippi River. That would make it hard for farmers to sell their goods, because the river was the main way to ship things to the ocean. Thomas Jefferson was the president of the United States. He was a smart leader who loved farming and believed in expanding the country. Jefferson saw the problem. America was trapped by its location. The young nation needed room to grow, but how could they get it? Buying land from another country seemed impossible. The US government could barely pay its own bills. They didn't have extra money for a huge purchase. But then, something surprising happened. France suddenly offered to sell the Louisiana Territory to America. This offer shocked everyone in Washington, D.C., the capital city. It was like someone handing you the keys to a giant playground you never thought you could have. Why did France do this? And could America even afford it? That's where the story gets exciting. Jefferson knew this was a chance to make America stronger. He dreamed of a nation where people could spread out, start new farms, and build a better future, but buying half a continent. That sounded like a wild idea. The leaders in America had to think fast. They sent men like James Monroe and Robert Livingston to talk to France. These talks would lead to one of the biggest deals in history. Now, let's talk about the big problem, the price. France wanted $15 million for the Louisiana Territory. That doesn't sound like much today, but back then, it was a huge amount. To give you an idea, the whole US government budget for a year was only about $8 million, so this deal cost almost twice what the country spent in a whole year on everything like paying soldiers, building roads, and running offices. America didn't have that kind of cash sitting around. The treasury was almost empty. So, what did they do? They decided to borrow the money. Jefferson and his team went to banks in Europe, like ones in Britain and the Netherlands. They took out big loans to pay for the land. Borrowing meant they would have to pay back even more money later, with extra fees called interest. It was a risky move. What if America couldn't pay it back? The country could go bankrupt, meaning no money left at all. Not everyone liked this idea. Critics were really angry. Some were from a group called the Federalists who didn't always agree with Jefferson. They said, "This is too expensive. We're already in debt from the war." Others worried about the rules. The US Constitution, which is like the rule book for the government, didn't say anything about buying land from other countries. Was Jefferson breaking the law? Some people thought he was acting like a king, not a president. They argued in newspapers and meetings. "This will destroy our economy," they shouted. "We'll be poor forever." And why was Napoleon selling such a big piece of land? It seemed too good to be true. The truth was hidden in France's troubles. Napoleon was fighting wars all over Europe. He needed soldiers and ships, which cost a lot of money. Also, there was a big rebellion in a place called Haiti, which was part of France's empire. Slaves there, led by a hero named Toussaint Louverture, fought for freedom. France sent thousands of troops to Haiti, but many died from diseases like yellow fever. It was a disaster. Louisiana was supposed to help feed Haiti, but now it was just a problem. Napoleon thought, "I need money now to win my wars in Europe. Selling Louisiana will give me cash fast." So, the deal wasn't just about land, it was about France's secret crisis. Jefferson faced tough choices. He believed in following the Constitution strictly, but this opportunity was too big to miss. He decided to go ahead, even if it meant bending the rules a little. The talks in Paris were tense. The American team started by asking to buy just the city of New Orleans, which was important for shipping. But France said, "Take the whole territory or nothing." It was all or nothing. In the end, they signed the treaty on April 30th, 1803. America was about to change forever, but no one knew if it would be for better or worse. This is where the story turns exciting, the big moment. France was in deep trouble. Their wars were draining money like a leaky bucket. The rebellion in Haiti was costing lives and treasure. Napoleon realized Louisiana was too far away to control. It had become a burden, not a prize. He said to his advisors, "Sell it to the Americans. I need the money to fight Britain." It was a quick decision, but it shocked the world. America jumped at the chance. The negotiators in Paris worked fast. They talked for days, bargaining over details. Finally, they agreed on the price, $15 million, which worked out to about 3 cents per acre. That's super cheap for such good land. The treaty was signed, and the news traveled back to America by ship. When Jefferson heard, he was thrilled but worried. He called a special meeting of Congress to approve it. But here's the shock. No one back then fully understood what this meant. America didn't just get dirt and trees. They got control of the Mississippi River, which was like a superhighway for trade. Farmers could now ship corn, wheat, and cotton to the world easily. The land had rich soil for growing food, forests for wood, and rivers for travel. It opened the door to new resources like fur, minerals, and space for millions of people. Could this debt-filled gamble work? Many doubted it. The loans meant America owed money to foreign banks. If crops failed or trade slowed, they might not pay back. But Jefferson believed in the future. He thought hard-working Americans would turn the land into wealth. This deal was more than a purchase. It was a bet on America's strength. The turning point came when Congress said yes in October 1803. The Stars and Stripes flag went up over New Orleans. The impossible had happened. After the deal, everything changed fast. The United States doubled in size overnight, from about 800,000 square miles to over 1.6 million. That's like adding a whole new country. People started moving west. Families packed wagons and headed to places like Missouri and Iowa. They built farms, towns, and schools. This movement is called westward expansion. Trade boomed. With the Mississippi River fully open, boats carried goods to New Orleans and out to sea. Farmers made more money. Cities grew. Agriculture, or farming, surged with new land for crops like cotton and sugar. The economy got stronger. That $15 million, it paid for itself many times. The new land brought in taxes, sales, and jobs that made way more money than the cost. But the effects went even deeper. America gained global power. Before, it was a small player in the world. Now it controlled a huge area. This helped in future wars, like against Britain in 1812. It set the stage for America to become a superpower. Think about it. Without Louisiana, the US might not have reached the Pacific Ocean. No California gold rush. No big cities like St. Louis as gateways to the West. There were sad parts too. Native Americans lived on this land for thousands of years. The purchase led to treaties that pushed them off their homes, causing pain and loss. Slavery spread west, which later helped cause the Civil War. But in terms of money and growth, it was a win. One purchase started chains of events that shaped centuries. America learned to take risks, and this wasn't the last time. Later deals, like buying Alaska, followed the same bold path. History shows a pattern that keeps happening. Big risks, lots of complaints, unsure results. But sometimes, the craziest investment turns into the best decision. The Louisiana Purchase teaches us that. What makes a risk turn into success? It's about seeing the future. Jefferson looked beyond the money problems. He saw opportunity in the land. Today, markets, governments, and investors face the same choice. Think about buying stocks. You put money in, hoping it grows. Or governments building big things like bridges or space programs. They cost a lot up front, but pay off later. In modern times, we see similar gambles. Like when companies invest in new tech, even if it's expensive, or countries borrowing to fight climate change. Critics always say, too risky. But leaders must decide, is this a chance to grow? If Jefferson faced the same today, would he do it? With all our rules and debates, maybe not. But his boldness shows that sometimes you have to act fast. We all face risks in life, maybe saving for college or starting a club. The lesson is weigh the pros and cons, but don't fear the unknown. Opportunity often hides in tough spots. The Louisiana Purchase reminds us that great things come from brave choices. The Louisiana Purchase wasn't just buying land, it was one of the best investments ever. It proved that impossible decisions can shape the future. America grew from a weak nation to a world leader because of it. What historic gamble should we explore next? Maybe the moon landing or buying Alaska? Let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe for more stories that changed history.